Hello everyone! Today we're going to take a look at how you want to build your Ayaka. Let's not waste any time and get started. Before we start this video, I did remake this video as I made a calculation error with Amenoma, which changed everything unfortunately. So that's why I remade it. Hence, if you want to just see how it performs now, you could just skip to the timestamp provided to Amenoma and also to the summary of where it performs in the description. We're going to be using a level 80 Ascendant main DPS Ayaka with level 8 talents. I took note of her first auto attack, charge attack, her skill Hyoka, and her initial burst cut, and the separate DOT for her bloom. This is just one damage from the DOT. This will be 4-piece Blizzard Strayer set with these substats. Her particle generation rate is pretty similar or even better than Eula's, as Eula can get 1 to 2 particles for her tap E with a 4-second cooldown, and Ayaka's get 4 to 5 particles with her E with a 10-second cooldown. Hence, I'm assuming that her recommended ER will be pretty similar to Eula's, which is to get her ER to at least 120 to 140% as recommended. Now, as Eula Mains state, I wouldn't go for an ER Sans and instead invest in a high stack bow, Diona, as a battery for your Ayaka. So you can max out your damage for Ayaka instead. For the main stats, you could probably just focus on attack percent for Sans, cryo for your goblet, and then crit damage for your circlets. Now for the substats. You might want to get some crit rate in there as well, even though you have the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer set, because all of the artifact and the cryo resonance buff, if you use Diona as well, will get you to around 60% crit rate. However, that's ultimately your choice if you think it's necessary. However, your priorities for Ayaka should be ER to 20 to 40%, crit damage to be double of your crit rate, and then from here, try to obtain either crit rate, crit damage, or attack percent to boost your overall damage. Depending on what you need, make your best judgment. I would recommend the team composition of Ayaka, Sensei, and Diona. Fourth person can be an extra support character or whoever you need. Maybe Venti for example, for crowd control and extra battery to better utilize Ayaka's burst. You could probably switch out Sensei with Mona and Diona with Rosario or Kaya if you do not have these characters. But just be aware that at least for your secondary cryo character, you might need more ER for your Ayaka if you do make this change, as Diona does have that sack bow. Alright, so now the next question will probably be, what weapon would you want to be using on Ayaka? We're going to be using this specific artifact set for all of them as our control artifact set. Okay, so the first and worst weapon I personally think out of these weapons is going to be the Harbinger of Dawn. The main reason for this is because Harbinger of Dawn has an extremely good ability, which is to raise your crit rate up to 100%. However, the major con of this ability is that your HP has to be above 90%. If we're facing off against level 80 monsters, or even level 100 in Spiral, then one shot from almost any enemy will debuff the Harbinger to this right here, which is going to be a significant debuff. It also doesn't help that Harbinger's 3-star weapon status gives it a very low base attack to work with. Next is going to be the Flute. This is another one that's finicky due to its ability. However, the ability does activate when you do 5 autos or charge attack, assuming they fit within the 0.5 harmonic cooldown. Hence, if you were to divide this damage by 5, you can assume that each of your autos or charge attack will be boosted by around 561 in the best case scenario. Unfortunately, the ability is physical, which is why it's not really boosted in comparison to your other autos and damage. And in addition, I do believe Ayaka's burst is where she shines the best, and Flute really doesn't help with that. Next weapon will be the craftable Iron Stain. Although it has a very nice ability to boost its overall elemental damage by 12%, the EM substat is actually going to be pretty useless as you're going to be playing a freeze comp team with Ayaka. Hence, don't craft this weapon for Ayaka as there's better alternatives out there. Next will be Prototype. With a high base attack, it will give you pretty good stats. However, the physical substat is pretty useless on it, as you're going to mainly be doing cryo attacks with Ayaka. Its ability is pretty nice as you getting a 16% attack, but there are actual better options out there, such as the R5 Cool Steel. This is probably the only 3-star weapon I think that are going to be better than all the weapons before so far, unless you're planning on refining any of the 4-star weapons. That's the only time this is going to be worse than them. So for the R5 Cool Steel, as you can see, it is actually pretty overpowered for a 3-star weapon. This is because of its ability and its extremely strong substat. However, the only con is the low base attack of the Cool Steel. Fortunately, that still makes it better than most of the current C0 4-star weapons. Next is going to be the best craftable Amenoma. The reason this is extremely high is because even if the damage output is lower than the other weapons, it will potentially help you out on keeping up with your burst if you don't have good cryo batteries. The major con with this weapon, unfortunately, is refinement. meaning that other weapons damage output increases as they refine. So like Prototype, it will increase. Iron Sting, it will increase those damage output. However, Amenoma's refinement only gets your burst faster, which is alright, I guess. You recover your energy faster and everything. However, the issue with that is that if you're recovering energy faster than your burst cooldown, which is 15 seconds, then you've lost out on a lot of other opportunities that you could use that for. Now, C0 Amenoma is good compared with other C0 weapons and C5 Cool Steel. However, other weapons have higher damage potential when you refine them more. The only time I would recommend refining Amenoma is if you are committed to using Ayaka as a support character, or if you are insistent on not using a cryo battery for your team. The last two weapons that are going to be the best for Ayaka are going to be Black Cliff and Black Sword. Even though you have too much crit rate from Black Sword, always grading crits is still going to carry you pretty hard, and you can focus less on critical rate artifacts in that case. Black Cliff is going to be pretty similar, or even better for her, as a no stack Black Cliff is the same as a fully buffed Cool Steel, and one stack will make it stronger than Black Sword, at least for the burst. Since Black Sword's ability boosts her normal and charge attack, making it similar in damage to a max stack Black Cliff Sword, I'm honestly not really sure which one is going to be better for these two. Hence, you can go with the Black Cliff if you wish to purchase it from the Paimon shop, if you do not want to purchase from the Battle Pass for the Black Sword. If you are going free to play, I would recommend the Amenoma or R5 Cool Steel. I would not recommend once again refining Amenoma, as I really don't think you need more energy than you need right now, unless you're planning on using Ayaka as a support character without a cryo battery. Now I hope that was helpful for all of you, and I will see you all in the next video.